Hi everyone, we have been talking about story parts, and yesterday I modeled for you the shape graphic organizer that we like to use for all the story parts. And this is what it looks like again, but it's a little more colorful this time. So what I have here is the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? And as you remember from yesterday, hopefully you watched Mrs. Valor's YouTube video, that in the beginning, when you are reading a story, you are looking to see who the characters are, what the setting is, and what is that problem, or sometimes we call it the wish. So what does the character want? And then the problem is what's preventing that character from getting that wish. And we'll see that in the next story. So usually the main character has a wish. They want something. Maybe they want like a pet and they're not allowed, or I'm trying to think of another one. But what happens is the problem will prevent the character from getting that wish. And then in the middle here, this is the part that is our square or our rectangle, because it's all the events, and we try to think of at least 4 events if the story has that many. And the events are the steps that the characters take to solve the problem or reach their goal. All right? So again, usually at the beginning there's some sort of problem. The events are what the character does to solve the problem or reach their goal, to get that wish. Last, at the end, we have that circle shape, and that's the solution. So at the end will tell how the characters solve the problem or reach their goal. And it's a circle because you're kind of just like wrapping up the story. All right, so you wrap it up, you put a circle around it, you're all done. The solution wraps up the story. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice using this shape organizer with a real story. The story I chose for you is called Grasshopper's Gross Lunch. And as we read, I'd like you to think about our shape organizer and think about all those story parts. Day after day, the green grasshopper grazed. Most of the time, Grasshopper grazed on green leaves. Sometimes he grazed on grass. But Grasshopper was tired of grazing on green leaves and grass. "I'm going to eat new food today," he said. Then he hopped into the forest. Grasshopper grinned when he saw all the new food to eat. "Maybe these green berries will taste great," said Grasshopper. "Gross," he groaned. He hopped to find something else to eat. "Maybe these gray nuts will taste great," said Grasshopper. "Gross," he groaned, hopping on. "Maybe this sweet honey will taste great," said Grasshopper. "Ugh, gross," he groaned. "I'm hopping home to graze on green leaves and grass," said the grumpy Grasshopper. At home, Grasshopper greeted his friends. He said, "I just ate berries, nuts, and honey. Those foods aren't great for grasshoppers like me. They're gross," he said. His friends said, "Don't you know? Green leaves and grass are the greatest foods for grasshoppers. Be glad you are a grasshopper," they said. Now Grasshopper always grins as he grazes on green leaves and grass. So now I've gone back to my shape organizer to see if I can retell the story using my beginning, middle, and end parts. So let's think back to the green grasshopper. And in the beginning, we should have been able to tell who the characters are, the setting, and the problem. So in the beginning, and I know the main character, that's the most important, the main character was Grasshopper, right? What was my setting? Where did most of the story take place? If you're thinking outside, you're right. Most of the story was outside. He was exploring outside, looking for new foods, right? Now, think about the problem in that story. What did the grasshopper want? What was his wish? And maybe why didn't he get it? What was the problem? So the problem was, or the wish was, that the grasshopper wanted new foods. He was bored of eating the same old thing every day, right? Okay, the next part is the events, and we're thinking about what did he try to do to solve the problem? Well, if you remember, the first step he tried was eating green berries, and then he said, gross, those aren't right. Next, he tried some gray nuts. Gross. Then he tried honey. He thought it would be sweet. Still gross. So he decided last to go back home and see if he still liked his old food of the green grass, right? When he got back, he ran into his friends, and at the end, the friends helped him realize that the best food for grasshoppers is green grass and leaves. Green grass and leaves. So the last part, we learned the solution to the problem. He solved his problem. He doesn't want new foods anymore. Okay? It keeps covering up my part there. All right, so when you're reading today, I want you to go to Epic. I need you to find a book that you can read on your own, so it's not too hard, not too easy, something you can read on your own. And when you're finished, I need you to think about or to share with someone what's the beginning, the middle, and end of the story. Start with your characters, go in order, setting, problem, then tell the events that the character tried to solve it, and then tell the solution.